This episode was originally released as a bonus episode of Real English Radio and is now being released to the public. Enjoy.
Words that high schoolers and middle schoolers are currently saying that you may know, you may not know, part 2. But first, Riz. Not gonna lie, bro, he has some Riz. Riz. Up next, facts. Miss Johnson is a way better teacher than Miss Callahan. Yeah, bro, facts. Facts. Pressed. Jake started talking about Rachel and now you're all pressed. Pressed. Up next, simp. Bruh, you dyed your hair for her. You're a simp. Simp. Up next, touch grass. Man, that's not even funny. Touch grass. Touch grass. Up next, say less. We're going to eat after this? Psst, say less. Up next, mid. I mean, my mom can cook, but I would say her Alfredo is mid. Mid. Up next, throwing shade. Man, I just heard them in the hallway talking about you, and they are throwing shade. Throwing shade. Up next, yacht. You see that girl walk by? I mean, yacht. Yacht.
What's going on, my friend? You already know this is yet another episode of Real English Radio. I'm your host, Tony Kaizen, and I'm back with a bit of modern American slang. I should say our friend, the teacher or the coach, is back with some modern slang. It's the same guy from the last slang episode. His TikTok screen name is an OK Coach. So I don't know his real name, but apparently he's a coach or a teacher at some high school or middle school or something like that. Anyway, back with some more slang words and phrases for you to sound a bit cooler, a bit smoother, a bit more natural in your next conversation. So just like in the last episode, I'm going to go back to the beginning and explain each one word by word or phrase by phrase and give you a bit of the culture that comes along with it. All right, so give me just a second. Go back to the beginning here. All right, let's do it.
Words that high schoolers and middle schoolers are currently saying that you may know, you may not know, part 2. But first, Riz. Not gonna lie, bro, he has some Riz. Riz.
Riz. R-I-Z-Z. Riz. Riz. Not gonna lie, bro. He's got some Riz. Now, I might have said this in the last episode, but when somebody says, not gonna lie, or I ain't gonna lie, or no lie, before they say something, that's our way of indicating that whatever we're about to say is for real. You should take this seriously. Whatever I'm about to say is true. It is not a lie. You see what I'm saying? It's not like in a serious situation, like in the court of law or talking to your boss or something like that, trying to prove that you're not lying. It's just a figure of speech, just a thing that we say. You know what I mean? I'm not going to lie, bro, blah, blah, blah. It's like whatever I'm about to say, I really mean this. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to lie, bro. He has some Riz. So finally, the word Riz just means charisma or it's used to describe somebody who's very skilled in the art of flirting. They're very charismatic, they're very charming, they're very good at talking to women or good at talking to men. You see what I'm saying? Or good at talking to whatever they're interested. You know what I'm trying to say. Whatever floats your fucking boat. You're good at talking to whatever sex you're interested in. You're good at flirting. You're very charismatic. You know what I mean? Now, when I was younger, when I was in high school, we would say game. Game, like basketball game, football game, video game, game. So we would say, not gonna lie, bro, he's got some game. That boy right there, he's got game. And we're saying the same thing. We're saying he's very charismatic. He's good at talking to women. He's good at flirting. He's very charming. He's got game. You know? Another thing that you might hear people say is he's very smooth. Smooth like a surface, like silk. S-M-O-O-T-H. Smooth. Man, he's so smooth, bro. That dude right there is smooth. It means very charismatic, very good at impressing or charming women, something like that. He's very smooth. He's got game. He's got riz, as the kids say these days. And if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong about this, but if I'm not mistaken, you can use the word riz as a verb. Because I'm pretty sure I've seen a couple posts on TikTok and somebody said something like, watch this guy try to riz this girl. So in that case, they're using it as a verb. So when you say try to riz, it basically means try to charm this person or flirt with this person, impress this person, get their phone number, get them to like you or whatever it means. Be charismatic. Try to be charismatic, right? But you cannot use game or smooth as verbs in this context. Because to try to game someone is not the same thing as trying to riz someone. The meaning would be different when we use the word, excuse me, when we use the word, Jesus. Sorry. When we use the word, third time's the charm. When we use the word game as a verb, the meaning is going to change a little bit. That's more like manipulate or take advantage of. That's not the same thing as being charismatic, as trying to riz someone, as being smooth. You see what I'm saying? I really hope I'm not confusing you, but if I am, let me know in the comments. All right. So anyway, riz is like charisma. If he has riz, it means he's charismatic, good at flirting. You know what I mean? Or he's got game, like my generation might say. Or he's smooth, like my parents' generation might say. Now, game and smooth, you can say that anytime, anywhere, and I would imagine any native speaker is going to understand. If I said riz, I'm not confident that my parents would understand what that means. And they're in their 60s, just for you to have an idea. So, anyway, that's riz, my friends. Let's move on to word number 2.
Up next, facts. Miss Johnson is a way better teacher than Miss Callahan. Yeah, bro. Facts.
Yeah, bro. Facts. So the word facts, you probably heard this one before if you're on social media quite frequently. This one we've been saying for a very long time. And the meaning of the word is almost self-explanatory because a fact is something that is true. It is not false. It's true, you know? So if you say something and somebody responds by saying facts, what they're saying is whatever you just said, they believe to be 100% true and they agree completely, right? This player is 10 times better than that player. Facts. It's like that is 100% true. I agree completely. Now, some alternatives, because you might hear people say other things to express the same idea. So this player is better than that one. Yeah, bro, straight up. Straight up, bro. So in this context, when I say straight up, I'm communicating the same idea as facts. It's just like that is 100% true. I agree. That's right. Straight up. Now, in different contexts, you might be communicating something a bit different, but I want to stay on topic. I don't want to confuse you. In this case, straight up, which is slang, basically means facts. That's true. I agree 100%. That's real, you know? Another one is real talk. Real talk. Also slang for most people, I should say. To me, it's normal speech, but I know it's not standard. Therefore, it's slang, right? So real talk, also a bit self-explanatory. It means whatever you're saying is real. Man, this player is better than that one. Real talk, bro. It's like that's real. That's true. 100%. I agree. It's not false, you know? You might also hear people say 100%. And really, we're saying the number 100, right? 100%. And what we mean is 100% true. But a lot of people, at least where I'm from, we say 100% because it's faster. It's easier to say 100, 300, 400, 500, 600, 900, 200, 100%. 100%, bro. This player is better than that one. 100%. It's like, I agree completely. That's true, right? Now, some more common things you'll hear people say are, that's for sure. So if somebody says, this player is better than that one, you could say, yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. Or you might say, definitely. Definitely. Or you might say, absolutely. All three of those are communicating the same idea, which is I agree 100%. I believe that to be true. All right. All right. That's it for facts, my friends. Let's move on to the next one.
Pressed. Jake started talking about Rachel, and now you're all pressed. Pressed.
Pressed. Jake started talking about Rachel, and now you're all pressed. Now, the word pressed basically means pressured or stressed or upset about something. Usually something that's not very important, you know? So going back to the example, he said, hang on. Jake started talking about Rachel, and now you're all pressed. So what he's saying is Jake started talking about Rachel, and now you're all upset, or you seem stressed or anxious or agitated for some reason. Like clearly Jake talking about Rachel has you feeling some type of way. And to be feeling some type of way basically means to be feeling it's not always negative. That's not always negative. It depends. But if something has you feeling some type of way, generally speaking, it's going to be a negative emotion that you're feeling. You're upset about something. Usually. So if somebody says now you're all pressed, it's like you're acting all defensive, like you're under pressure for some reason. So maybe Jake talking about Rachel has you feeling pressed because you have a crush on Rachel and you don't want anybody to know, or Rachel just broke up with you. So just mentioning her name makes you upset. Now you're all pressed. I don't know. I don't know. But it just means defensive. Like you're under pressure, you're feeling attacked, and now you have to defend yourself. You're feeling pressed. Or so just like if somebody's pressing you, it's similar to saying pressuring you. Somebody's pressing you. It means that they are putting you under pressure. They're attacking you, most likely in a verbal sense, not physical. That they're pressing you for this or pressing you for that. They're putting you under pressure to get you to do something or because they want something from you. You know. So that's press. Let me check and see if I wrote some alternatives here. Yes, I did. So, using that same example, Jake started talking about Rachel and now you're all pressed. Another way to say that is Jake started talking about Rachel and now you're all defensive. What you getting so defensive for, bro? You got a crush on Rachel or what's going on, right? Jake started talking about Rachel and now you're all upset. Why is this making you so upset? Why are you so pressed right now? You see what I'm saying? All right, that's pressed, my friends. Let's move on to the next one.
Up next, simp. Bruh, you dyed your hair for her. You're a simp. Simp.
You's a fucking simp, bro. So the word simp, S-I-M-P, simp. The word simp basically means, wow. The word simp usually describes somebody who is overly attentive to the person that they're attracted to, or overly submissive to the person they're attracted to, excuse me. So let's just use the example that he gave. He said, bruh, you dyed your hair for her? You're a simp. So this is two friends talking to each other. Friend A notices that friend B dyed his hair specifically because a girl that friend B is attracted to likes that color or told him he should dye his hair or something like that. And so friend A sees that and he's like, bro, you dyed your hair for a girl, bro? The only reason you dyed your hair is because this girl asked you to, or because it's this girl's favorite color and you're trying to impress her, bro? You a fucking simp. You are a simp. Fucking simpleton, you know? And what we're communicating is like, you're basically submitting to this girl just because you find her attractive. Like you're losing yourself in order to get this girl. That's what makes you a simp. Like you're being overly submissive, overly attentive, a bit clingy because you're afraid to lose this person. So you're trying to do whatever you can to keep them, even if it means losing yourself. You're a fucking simp. You know? Like you have no self-respect, basically. You have no self-respect or self-worth. And therefore you'll do whatever it takes to keep this person who you're attracted to in your life. You'll do whatever it takes to impress them or to get them to like you. You're a fucking simp. You know? Type of guy that will dye his hair just because it's this girl's, it's not even his girlfriend. They're not even dating yet. He's just trying to impress her. I know she likes pink, so I'm going to dye my hair pink and start wearing pink shoes and pink bracelets and shit. Hopefully that'll impress her. You a fucking simp, bro. You know, you know what I'm saying? You're a simp. You know, you fucking weak. And that's another way. So let's talk about some alternatives because simp is slang, but somebody else might say, bruh, you dyed your hair for her. You're weak. You're weak, bro. Right? You have a weak character, a weak spirit. You know what I'm saying? Or you're soft. That's another thing that you might hear guys say, bro. You dyed your hair for her, bro. You soft. Fucking soft, bro. And you're essentially communicating the same thing as when you say you're a simp, you know? And simp can be a noun or a verb. Like if you simp for a girl, it means that you choose to be a simp specifically for this girl. So you're simping for her or you are a simp for her, you know? It's like this person is your weak spot. So you'll overlook your morals, your character, your self-respect and your self-worth just to impress this person or keep them in your life or whatever. He's a fucking simp. And it's typically only in a romantic context. We're not talking about brothers and sisters, parents, co-workers, anybody else. It's just in the romantic, like dating context that we use this word. All right. All right. That's simp, my friend. Let's move on to the next one.
Up next, touch grass. Man, that's not even funny. Touch grass. Touch grass.
Touch grass. To touch grass. I like this one a lot. Now, the actual phrase touch grass, if I'm not mistaken, comes from gaming culture. People who are locked inside playing video games 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, up to 12 hours a day, doing nothing but playing video games. If I'm not mistaken, they started using this phrase touch grass for people that are inside playing video games all day and have literally not gone outside and made contact with the earth in a very long time. And what usually happens when people live their lives in that way is they tend to get a distorted perception of reality. They even lose touch with reality and they start caring about things that aren't necessarily important because their worldview is so distorted. And if all you're doing is playing video games all day, you probably don't have much of a life outside of that video game console. So when somebody says touch grass, they're basically saying, dude, distance yourself from those electronic devices, go outside and literally put your hands on grass, reconnect with the earth. You know what I mean? Like you need to get back in touch with fucking reality. But in a more general sense, I believe it's not just used with gamers these days. What I understand when I hear somebody say, go touch grass, it's the same thing as telling somebody to get a life. When I was younger, people would say, get a life. You know what I mean? If somebody's getting upset over something trivial, something that's not important, or somebody who's always sticking their nose in other people's business, somebody who's getting mad about all the stupid shit they see on social media, just never has anything positive to say. You know what I mean? Or doesn't have any sense of what's really important in life. We would tell them, bro, get a fucking life. You have nothing better to do than get mad about this shit. You have nothing better to do than try to make people feel worse about themselves. Get a life, right? You miserable piece of shit. Go get a life. I guess these days they would say, touch grass. It's the same thing as saying get a life. It means go get connected with reality, bro. Go touch some grass. Put your feet on the earth. Go sit by a river, climb a mountain or some shit. Remember what's important, you know? Because it's not this stupid bullshit that you're all upset about. Go touch grass, bro. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense to you? Because it makes sense to me, but obviously, you're learning this language, so I'm always like well, not always, but I'm often in doubt. I find myself wondering, do these explanations make sense? Because a lot of times y'all don't really give me the thumbs up or thumbs down. You know what I'm saying? It's like, anybody listening, huh? Are you there? Anyway, I'm just going to assume that made some kind of sense to you. And if it didn't, you're free. Jesus, you are free to ask questions. All right, so let's move on from touch grass to the next term on this list. Here we go.
Up next, say less. We're going to eat after this? Psst, say less.
Say less. All right, this one we've also been saying since I was in high school. And when somebody says say less, it's like communicating that you understand and most likely agree completely with whatever it is they're saying. Another way of saying this is say no more. Say no more. Don't say anything else. Don't say anything more than what you've already said. A cooler, smoother way of saying that is say less, which literally doesn't make sense. You're talking and I tell you to say less. It doesn't make literal sense, but what we're communicating is say no more. Don't say anything more. Or really, you don't need to say anything more. That's what we're communicating when we say less. In other contexts, it can mean consider it done, right? Like I need you to clean up the kitchen, mop the floors, and take out the trash before I get back. Say less. I'm saying consider it done. I understand completely. You don't need to give me any more instructions. I heard you, I understood, and it will be done. Say less. And again, this is slang. You're not going to say this to your boss unless y'all have a really good relationship like that and your boss has already shown you that it's okay to use that kind of language at work. But generally, you're not going to say less to your boss. It's probably not going to take that very well. But obviously, every situation is different. But yeah, that's say less. I'm trying to think of another way to communicate that. Say less. It really depends on the context though. Because if I say I need you to wash the dishes, mop the floors, and take out the trash before I get back, you could also say, got it. Like I got it. I understood. And it will be done. You might say, I got you. Right? Wash the dishes, clean the kitchen, mop the floors. I got you. I got you. Which means I understood you completely. Or trying to think of a different context. Going back to the actual example, he said, we're going to eat after this. Say less. In that case, it's more like saying, I agree with that and count me in. That's what you're saying, is count me in. It's like everybody's going to do this thing and I want to be included. I'm in agreement with the plan of action. Count me in. Right? Does that make sense to you? I hope it does. But say less is just like another, just you can understand that people are saying you don't need to say anything more. I understood completely and I'm in agreement with what was said. Say less, you know? Like we going out to eat this Friday? Say less. I'm down. Count me in. I'm going. I'm in agreement with that. Let's do it. Say less, you know? Or you need me to do A, B, and C by 6 o'clock? All right, say less. I got it. Count on me. It will be done. Say no more. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully that makes sense to you, but we're going to move on to the next one. Here we go.
Next, mid. I mean, my mom can cook, but I would say her Alfredo's mid. Mid.
Mid. M-I-D. Mid. To me, the word mid, which we've been using for a long time, it didn't start with Gen Z. The word mid, generally speaking, just means very low quality, poor quality, or mid grade. Mid grade. And often, like when I was in high school, we used the word mid. Like I said, something that's poor quality, something that's mediocre. It's just so. It's not horrible, but it's certainly not good. You know what I mean? And we would use this word a lot to describe very poor quality, to describe weed that was of very poor quality. So if somebody says, I don't smoke mid, or nah, I don't want to smoke that, that's a mid. I don't fuck with mid. They mean low quality weed. But nowadays, you can put the word mid, or you can use the word mid to describe anything that's of mediocre quality. Excuse me, mediocre quality. I can't talk for some reason. But yeah, let me go back to the actual example. He said, I mean, my mom can cook, but I would say her Alfredo's mid. her Alfredo is mid. So again, it means mediocre, not very high quality. So another way of saying that is, I mean, my mom can cook, but I would say her Alfredo is weak. Her Alfredo is mediocre at best. Right? And just maybe you don't know this. Alfredo is referring to the style of pasta that uses Alfredo cheese, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know what else actually makes it Alfredo, but if I'm not mistaken, Alfredo is a type of cheese put on a particular type of pasta. So a lot of people will just say Alfredo, and that's what they're talking about. Like my sister loves to eat chicken Alfredo, which is chicken with those that particular pasta noodle and Alfredo cheese. So his mom can cook. She knows how to cook, but her Alfredo, specifically her Alfredo, is mid. It's weak, not the best quality. It's mediocre. And if you want a more polite way to communicate that, you might say, I mean, my mom can cook, but I would say her Alfredo, or how would I say that? My mom can cook, but I would say Alfredo is definitely not her specialty. It's definitely not her specialty. You know what I mean? It's not like the thing that she's best at. She can cook, but Alfredo is not her specialty. That's a less direct way of communicating the same thing, and everyone is still going to understand what you mean. At the end of the day, your opinion is that it's not very good. You know what I'm saying? It's mid. It's mediocre. That movie was fucking mid. That food is mid. Those shoes, mid. That song, mid. It's mediocre. It's not very good. All right? All right, my friends, move on to the next one.
Up next, throwing shade. Man, I just heard them in the hallway talking about you, and they are throwing shade. Throwing shade.
All right, to throw shade. We've also been using this one for a long time. To throw shade just means to indirectly insult someone or criticize someone in a very subtle, like indirect way. You know what I mean? So when somebody says, I heard them talking about you in the hallway and they're throwing shade, it just means that they're talking about you behind your back. They're talking shit. Not necessarily in a direct way though. You know what I mean? It's more of an indirect way of talking shit, criticizing someone, saying negative things about them, insulting them, that type of stuff. Now, another thing you might hear, depending on where you are, is talking greasy. If somebody's talking greasy about you, it means they're talking shit. They're saying negative things about you. Talking greasy. And like I said, you might also hear somebody say talking shit, which is a stronger way of saying talking greasy. Greasy is acceptable in any context because greasy is not a vulgar word. It's not a bad word. Although talking greasy is never positive. But talking shit just sounds much stronger. You know what I mean? So you got to be careful with that one. Now, you might also hear people say talking smack, but this sounds like something that an adult would say around children. Because what they mean is talking shit, but instead of using the word shit, they use the word smack because it's not vulgar. That guy's talking smack. Those people are talking smack. It's the same thing as talking shit. It's just, what's the word? Culturally acceptable no matter where you are because it's not a vulgar word. And finally, you might hear somebody say bad mouthing. To bad mouth someone means to talk shit about someone, to say negative things about them, you know? So talking greasy, talking shit, talking smack, bad mouthing, throwing shade, they're all similar. All right. So there you go. Throwing shade. All right, my friends, last word on the list. Here we go.
Up next, yacht. You see that girl walk by? I mean, yacht. Yacht.
Yacht. I don't even know how to spell this word. So when you look at the vocabulary guide for this episode, I wrote the word yacht like the vehicle, the boat. YACHT. Yacht. And you might be confused about why we write it that way. I honestly don't know because we don't pronounce the C or the H in that word. Yacht. Now, again, I don't know if that's how they spell it when they use it as slang. And I don't really know what this means, but based on the context and looking back when I was in high school, things that we might have said, the word yacht is more just like an exclamation. It doesn't really have a dictionary definition. It's just something you say, typically when you're very impressed by whatever it is that you've seen or you've heard. So, again, going back to the example, did you see that girl walk by? I mean, yacht. If somebody says that, it's like when I was a kid or now as an adult, I might say, damn. That's how you can think of this word. You see that girl walk by? Man, damn. And really what you're communicating is you think she's very attractive. You think she's fine as hell. You think she looks good. Like, damn. Fellas, you know how it is. You see a beautiful woman walk by, just like, damn, bad as fuck. She fine as hell. I got to talk to her, bro. What the fuck is going on here? You know what I mean? I'm guessing. Again, I am guessing that's what they're communicating when they say, yacht. But I honestly don't know. I'm gonna have to ask my nephew the next time I talk to him. But when I was younger, that's what we would say. You see that girl walk by? Damn, damn, she bad as fuck. And if a girl is bad, it really depends on the context. But if we're talking about a girl's appearance, if a girl is bad, it means that she looks really good. She's very attractive. That girl she bad, bro. You know, she's sexy. She looks very, very good. You'll also hear people say she's fine. Fine. Like, hello, how are you? I'm fine. Same word. But fine in this case is used to describe somebody who's very physically attractive. Now, the word bad is really only used for women. She's bad. She's very sexy. She's very attractive. But the word fine can be used for men or women. She's fine. He's fine. Just means that they look really good. Right? So again, you see that girl walk by? God damn. That sounds very natural, and people of all ages will say something like that. God damn, she fine. You know? Or you might hear somebody say, shit. See that girl walk by, man? Shit. Obviously, that's a bit stronger, but again, it's just an exclamation. And based on the context, people will understand. You probably think that she looks really good. You're impressed by how beautiful or sexy or attractive she is. You know what I'm saying? But again, this is just a guess. I have no idea what the word yacht actually means. I'm just telling you the way I would understand it if I heard some kids say it in the street, you know? But that is it for all the words, my friends. I will leave timestamps in the description of this episode just in case you want to jump back to the beginning of the clip and listen to it without any interruptions. I highly recommend you check out the vocabulary guide for this one so you can see explanations of the words, also example sentences and things of that nature. And as I say 3 or 4 times every episode, feel free to ask questions if you have doubts about any of this stuff. But man, you got to remember to put this stuff into practice, right? Now, you won't be using slang every single day, and you definitely don't want to overuse the slang because that makes you sound unnatural as well. But looking for opportunities to throw these words and phrases into your conversations will not only help you sound more natural, but it'll give you more confidence. Because when you use something new and you see that the person you're talking to understood what you were trying to say, it makes you feel good. You know that you used it correctly. You know what I mean? That's one more thing you know how to say. One more reason not to be so nervous the next time you speak because you know how to use the same words and phrases that natives use. You know what I mean? So put this stuff into practice, my friend. All right, write about it, read a little bit, speak as much as you can, even if you're speaking to yourself, even if you're just recording yourself speaking. All right, you got to put it into practice, my friend. But that's all I got for you today, my friend. This has been yet another episode of Real English Radio. I'm your host, Tony Kaizen, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.